This lecture is about the computer network's devices and the computer network's services. The network's devices can be the network interface card, the NIC card, the hub, the switch, the access point, or the router. The network interface card is the card connected to the motherboard from one side and connected to the network cable from the other side. It's the network adapter. It's an interface between the PC and the network cable. It resides inside the motherboard of a PC. It establishes the communication with the PC through the device driver. Any hardware connected to the motherboard must have a software driver to facilitate the management, the configuration, and the performance of this piece of hardware. This NIC card contains transmitter and contains a receiver at the same time. It's called a transceiver, which is a mixture between the transmitter and the receiver. The network interface card can be wired, which means that can be connected to a cable, or wireless with an antenna connected to the air interface, and can be both wired and wireless at the same time. The hub. The hub shares the frames between machines. A frame of data that is sent by machine A to machine B is shared among machines C, D, and E and all the other machines inside the hub to reach its destination from A to B. This means that the hub is a very good chance for sniffing. The hub is composed of a number of ports to connect several machines. Each machine is connected to the hub through a port inside this hub. The hub works with full duplex communication. Each machine can send or receive at the same time and at any time on the hub. The hub can connect machines with mixture of speeds, ranging from 10 mega, 100 mega, 1 giga, and even more inside the hub. The hub allows for collisions. A sender can send, meanwhile another sender wants to send, which means that both signals from sender A and sender B can meet at the same time inside the hub, forming a jam signal that has no meaning. And at this point of time, sender A and sender B has to resend their messages. Collisions mean hub is one collision domain. The hub is one broadcast domain. Collisions make the network slow and congested. Collisions happen when two senders want to send at the same time and their signals add as zeros and ones on the media to form something that is neither 0 nor 1, that is a jam signal, and then both machines have to resend their messages. To avoid collisions, machines connected through a hub follows an algorithm that is called SYSMA-CD. SYSMA-CD stands for Carrier Sense Multiple Access Collision Detection. If a machine wants to send a message over the media, that is the hub, it first must sense the carrier. Is there another carrier on the media? If there is another carrier on the media, then this machine that wants to send has to wait for some time. If unfortunately two machines, like here in the image, such as A and D, want to send at the same time, they both sense the media, they both find the media empty at the same time, they both tend to send at the same time. This is the point of time that collision happens. This is the point of time where both signals meet on the media, forming something that is meaningless. What happens when collision happens? Collision detection takes place, and then a backup algorithm makes A wait for a certain time before resending its message that has collided with another message, and D waits for another period of time to resend its message that has collided with another message. This, of course, makes all the machines lose some time and makes the network slower and leads to poor performance for this network. Collision is something that we do not like to happen on the network. The switch. The switch is one of the network devices that is a more recent technology than the hub. It forwards and filters frames. The switch forwards frames among the ports that want to send to the ports that want to receive only. So the switch allows for no collision, and the switch allows for no sniffing. The switch is better in performance, and the switch is a more secure technology than the hub. The switch works, of course, with full duplex communication. Each machine can send and receive at the same time. The switch can work with mixture of speeds, ranging from hundreds of megabits per second to gigabits per second. The switch is one broadcast domain, but each port inside the switch is a separate collision domain. That's why, once more, the switch allows for no collisions and allows for no sniffing. The access point. This is a wireless device that connects machines wirelessly inside a LAN, a local area network. It transmits frames in the air media and also receives frames in the air media. It links the wireless part of the network to the wired infrastructure. The antenna send and receive wirelessly. Meanwhile, the access point itself is connected to an Ethernet cable, a wired interface that connects the wireless part of the network to the wired infrastructure of the network. The access point is one broadcast domain. The access point, of course, is one collision domain and allows for collision. Meanwhile, there is an algorithm that can be followed to avoid collisions in the air media, which is called SYSMA-CA, Carrier Sense Multiple Access Collision Avoidance. The router. The router is the device that redirects packets between networks. It works based on a routing table that is stored inside it or built inside it, either static or dynamic. The router divides the network into several broadcast domains. Each port in the router is a separate broadcast domain. The router divides the network also into several collision domains. Each port in the router is a separate collision domain. The services that can be offered inside a LAN can be file sharing, database sharing, or application sharing. This is a form of software resources centralization that can be offered through a LAN. A LAN can share files, databases, and any applications among the users of the LAN. Applications can be games that can be played by the users existing on this LAN. Also, the LAN can share several hardware peripherals, like the printer, the scanner. Even the processor of a certain machine can be shared to another machine to use. Even the storage inside the LAN can be shared through a storage server that every other machine can access as a client. The WAN services differ from the LAN services. The WAN services can be web service, which can allow for web browsing, web searching, or accessing the social media. The WAN services can offer email services that can be exchanged among the users over a WAN. And let's recall here that the Internet is a WAN, is the largest WAN over the Internet. The Internet is the network of networks. It's compromising all the lands in the world. The internet is a very big, wide area network. The internet offers the service of file transfer through sharing or file transfer protocols. The internet can offer voice calls and can offer video conferencing. Also, any small WAN connecting two LANs can offer the same services, voice calls and video conferencing among the users existing on this network. Now we have explored the devices, the services of a computer network. Thank you.